Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the one, the only Alcor Star Child here, and I guess I should share this information with the humans so that you can kind of understand what advanced beings are like. There are various types of advanced beings, just lots of different types of advanced beings, but there seems to be this space that a lot of beings most likely would want to inhabit. Now, for you as a human, you have been told it's your soul or your spirit, so that when you die, you become this spirit. But the problem is you have been fed a story that when you die, your spirit goes to one place or another. Those are soul traps, that your spirit would go to, or soul would go to, a place where you're going to burn for an eternity and suffer for an eternity. Or your soul is going to go to a place where you will worship a being for an eternity and do nothing but worship. That's slavery, either which way you look at it. You wouldn't do that here on Earth, and if you are doing that, then you wouldn't be listening to this video right now. You literally would be spending every waking moment doing nothing but worshiping, and that's it. That's how difficult that would be. So both of those places are considered traps. They're a place that you would trap a spirit or a soul. Advanced beings I'm talking really advanced beings. This is a place that, a lot of humans who think of, well, I can't say a lot of humans. I don't know how many humans think about this, but about changing and evolving into something where you'll have wings like an angel, or you will be like a werewolf or whatever your imagination. Maybe you'll be a pixie or whatever your imagination is, or you're a cat, cat being. The real transition for a true sentient being to move into an advancement is to be able to separate. In other words, if I was to leave this body now, like, I could just remove my spirit from this body and go and seek throughout the galaxy, different galaxies, through different realms, through multiverses, wherever I choose to go, and just wander around and search for a place that I want to experience next. We do have people now who do talk about this is an experience, life is an experience, but they don't really know what's next, right? They don't really understand, or they're kind of on point, because it is an experience, but it's not an experience for everyone. There are a lot of people now, and this is going to be hard to understand, but there are a lot of people now here on this earth who are empty. And you know those people, you've probably seen those people, where there seems to be nothing really there. They're going through the motions of life. You will consider them a NPC, you will consider them a puppet, you will consider them anything but actually having any substance to their core being. Like, there's just nothing there. There's no creativity. And sentient beings can all create, not recreate, but actually create. And those who are not sentient beings have they don't even, there's not even a spark of creation. There is no personality. That is why there are so many different things that are already put in place for you, boxes for you to check, so that way you know your identity, know who you are. That's why there's so many groups to help you fit in, to have a group, so that way you know who you are. Without those groups for you to fit in, a lot of people don't know who they are, because they're not true sentient beings. They need some group to attach to. They need that. They desperately need that, because without that, they don't know who they are. And if you take that away from them, they're very much lost. A sentient being is not lost. A sentient being is comfortable just being. So if I was to leave this body now and to go someplace else, and I don't mean like astral traveling crap like people talk about, I'm talking about actually just this body falls dead and they can rule it whatever, heart attack, he choked on his pizza, whatever, they can rule it whatever, but this body goes dead, and because I'm ready to leave this body and go somewhere else. Maybe I want to come back to this planet. Maybe I want to just recreate here, reincarnation. And there's also a problem with reincarnation on this planet. I'll talk about it in another video. But I could reincarnate here, or I could go someplace else. This is the true advancement for a sentient being. To not be imprisoned in one body. To not just be imprisoned in that body. To not say that when that body is no longer existing, that my spirit or my soul is going to be trapped in a place that is either of torture or of servitude. Because, okay, so I won't say, because I know it freaks people out when I say it's slavery. Let's just say servitude. What are servants? What is a servant? When you go to a restaurant, they're a server. They're just there to do things for you. You may be a little nice to them or whatever, but you don't really get too involved with them because you're just a servant. When kings have a bunch of servants doing stuff for them all the time, like a bunch of servants, they don't really know who they are. They only know like maybe one or two. They don't care because they just serve a purpose for that king to be where he's at. He needs servants so that way he can be king. Without servants, he would never be king. Without this type of what you would call this god, he would never be a god without servants. So that cannot be a god. Think about it. A true, very powerful creator, which is like any other sentient being out there, but just a really, really advanced creator who has gotten to the point where that creator can create now planets, create universe, create, life itself. That being does not need any other sentient beings to be its servant. It's so busy and enjoying doing what it does that to have that means that it would be enslaving itself to attaching itself to its servants. This is why kings are not able to freely roam and go places as well. They can only go so far because they're enslaved to their kingdom, their servants. So a true sentient being, and this may be hard to grasp and understand, a true sentient being is not imprisoned to the body that it's inhabiting. And when you do go to another planet and you decide, you roam around and you find a place that you want to settle, that you want to experience, you find a whole planet, and you want to experience it, whether it's going to be a good experience or a bad experience, it most likely doesn't matter. You still want to, you crave for these experiences. This is your core being. This is what you want. You want to experience these things like now, right? There are more than just myself that are sentient beings who came here, who were birthed here, so that way they can see the end of what is coming to this species, right? Like it's happening so fast every day. You hear it on the news every day. You hear people talking about it and stuff, and you see it happening. And so there are sentient beings who came here who are here to experience this as well. They're here to experience this end. And it can become very frustrating if you don't understand why you're here. As a sentient being, you don't really truly understand why you're here. You just see what's happening here, and it can be very stressful. But you have to experience that to understand what the other beings that are here are experiencing. You have to experience it with them. So you could decide you want to go to a different planet in a different universe. And what you will do is you will look for a host. I'm just going to use something that's familiar with the human species on this planet, is a female host to give pregnancy, to be born into. That's what you'll look for. But when you find this host, you can't just invade that person's body. You have to have something kind of like a handshake with them, like a spirit to spirit handshake, to have them welcome you in, have them say, yes, it's okay, without their consciousness understanding what's going on. It's their subconsciousness. And maybe on a lot of other planets, maybe they consciously do know that they're just that, they're advanced too, and they are experiencing a planet, but they're consciously know who they are, where they come from, and they say, yeah, come, I will give birth to you. And then you are now born in a body that is accustomed to that planet. And now you can truly experience life on that planet and death. You can experience life till death on that planet until you go someplace else or until you decide you want to reincarnate. And with that, I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about what a true advanced sentient being really strives for. Not to just live forever in a body, which is what a lot of people on this planet seem to think that's a good thing. To live forever in a body is to be imprisoned to that body. It doesn't make sense. Think about it. And with that, enjoy the rest of the time you have left.